Flax Golden Knits podcast, a podcast about knitting. I am Kristen. I live in Nashville, Tennessee with my husband and our 2 kitty cats. And you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Flax Golden Knits. We now have a Ravelry group that is the Flax Golden Knits Ravelry group. And I would love it if you would hop on over and introduce yourself in the hi, my name is thread. I did do the giveaway last week and everybody who had introduced themselves won because it was 8 people. And I have not been back into the group and chatted much. Actually, I've been taking a bit of a social media hiatus, and actually just like an internet hiatus, except for Netflix. I had both days off this weekend, which is fairly unusual, and yeah, I just did not much of anything other than going to local yarn store day. I went over to House of Yarn on Saturday the 21st. This was just a few days ago really, although it feels like the end of the week. It is only Tuesday. And I went over to local yarn store day on Saturday and I interviewed a few people, which I will intermingle with some of the podcast. And I had a wonderful time. An absolutely exhausting time. So when I came home, I just, I kind of took a few days and haven't been on social media much at all. So let's hop into our podcast because I have 13% on my camera and I'm going to try to get through this whole thing without stopping, without letting my camera overheat, and without running out of juice on my camera. So here we go. Trying to do it in one go without any notes. Yeah, we got this. Okay, first let's go ahead and talk about my works in progress. Of course, I have no finished objects for you. Can you just stop coming here expecting finished objects, because apparently it's just never gonna happen. Yeah, very rarely. So the only 2 things that I've worked on this week are my Morgan shawl by Jessica Gore of the Sweater Collective. And let me go ahead and show you my progress on that. Honestly, okay, so when I went to local yarn store day, I did pick up finally some progress keepers. So hopefully I will be good about actually keeping progress of what I have done since the last time I podcasted. But I make no promises. Here's my Morgan shawl. It is growing. I think last time it was just like, you know, just a little thing right up here. And it is getting bigger. It is definitely growing. It is so pretty. When people see me working on this, they just comment about how pretty the yarn is. And it is. It's such a pretty color. It's just so lovely. Lovely would be a good word for this color. It really is. And again, just like last time, I don't really have a lot to say about it. It's the pattern and the yarn combination are just an absolute joy to knit. There have been a few times where I've kind of gotten off a stitch, but for the most part, it's very simple. I mean, I get off a stitch because it's, you know, it's operator error. It's nothing to do with the pattern. Except, and I need to get on Ravelry and check this out, but she does have stitch counts for the pattern repeats where you're supposed to be at the end of each pattern repeat. And my stitch count is I think it's 2 stitches fewer than it's supposed to be. And it has been that way from the beginning and everything lines up. So I don't know if that is the pattern or if I somehow have just like started 2 stitches off and it's just working out correctly. I don't know. I need to get on because I bought this pattern almost the day that it came out, like the weekend that it came out. So it could just be errata that I haven't gotten yet. But it is coming together quite nicely. The only thing that I want to say really has nothing to do with the pattern or the yarn, which is Mirasol Mirasol Sulka Legato. And it's in the Rosewood colorway, and that's the tag. Anyway, it is just lovely. So, the only thing that I want to say is that I am knitting this with some Addi Turbos, and I would have chosen, the reason I got these is because House of Yarn is a seller of Addies, and they don't have Chalgu. And my preferred needle for just about everything, honestly, is Chalgu. So I really do wish I had some Chalgus with a bit of a sharper point for this shawl, but that is just personal preference. So there you go. The next, my second project, the only other project that I have done any work on, is my Lorem Ipsum sweater by Jennifer Dassau. And I think last time I had told you that I had, you know, cast it on and gotten about 2.5 inches in and then had to rip it out and re-knit it in a larger needle size. And I am pleased with that choice, although I am now realizing that I only got 2 skeins of this yarn, and it was a one-of-a-kind colorway. So, I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope that it works out. I probably will end up shortening the sleeves, which is fine, and I'll probably end up cropping the length a little anyway, because I am short-waisted, so that's not a really big issue. So fingers crossed. Guys, cross your fingers for me, because I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous about whether or not I'm going to have enough yarn. So I have started, or I did cast on for the front sides, and that's it. So I'm making progress, but it's slow going. I only knit a handful of rows on, I really only knit a handful of rows of this over the weekend. I mostly worked on my shawl, and I only get maybe one or, I guess, like, you know, a knit row and a purl row a day on it. So it's just slow progress. But I am hoping to pick up speed at some point. We'll see. But I am loving it. I am really loving it. I just love this yarn, so I really hope that it all just works like magic. And yeah, I have really nothing to say about that. Nothing else to say about it. The pattern is great, and the yarn is amazing, and it is the yarn is Marion Jade Fiber Arts in the vintage denim colorway, which is a one-of-a-kind colorway, because I did email her, and Emily at Marion Jade Fiber Arts is amazing and always very, very helpful whenever she can be, but she did say that it was a one-of-a-kind. So, yeah, there you go. All right, so that's all I have to share with you guys as far as my knitting goes. I'm sorry. But I do have some awesome interviews with some amazing ladies from the local yarn store day, so let's jump into that. Oh, first, I do have an acquisition other than what I got at local yarn store day. This came in the mail. I've been waiting and waiting for it because I got it to participate in the Pin Feathers and Pearls stripy socks cal, but I think there's no way I'm going to get it done in time for that now, because I've been waiting for this yarn for a while, which, you know, is understandable and fine. It's an Etsy seller, and I think she does, I think she doesn't keep stock. She just, whatever you order, she kind of makes it. I don't know what that's called. It has a name, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But I got the, oh, what is the name of this colorway? Oh, look, it's Let's Be Unicorns. It's the Yarn Jar shop, and she has some fantastic colorways. I've never ordered from her, but I basically have her entire store favorited. She does a lot of self-striping sock yarn. And, oh my gosh! Oh, look, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but look, it is a little unicorn, not stitch marker, but what's the other thing that we just talked about? My brain. Progress keeper. It is so cute. It is so cute. And look, it's like, this is me. I'm all about this. Neon. Neon stripes. Yes, I was born in 1979. So I grew up in the 80s. And this is right up my alley, y'all. This is like 1985 skating rink right there. Right there. All right. So I'm super excited about that. I really want to cast on another pair of socks. I don't know if I need to right now, but oh my gosh, I can't wait to use this progress keeper. Okay, so let's move on. I have 3%. There is absolutely no way I'm going to get through this next part. Oh, 2% before my camera shuts off. Let's talk about local yarn store day. I had a fantastic time at local yarn store day. I got up and, oh, it just went back up to 5%. Oh, maybe my unicorn did it. My magic unicorn powered up my camera battery. Anyway, so I woke up on local yarn store day and I'd had a rough day at work the day before, and I honestly did not want to leave the house at all. I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just wanted to be in my bed, in my pajamas all day long, pretending like the world didn't exist. But I had told you guys about local yarn store day and I really wanted to go because I knew it would be a whole year before we had another one. So I got myself up, I got myself dressed, and I went over to local yarn store day. And I have to say, you guys, I feel like a little bit of an asshole, honestly, because I just showed up there with my camera and started asking people if I could interview them. And I didn't, you know, call ahead and warn anybody or, you know, like send anybody a message on Instagram and ask them if I could do this or anything. Like, no warning, just this like weird girl shows up with a camera and starts interviewing people in the middle of local yarn store day, which was very busy. And then another oversight was I didn't interview Meg, the owner of House of Yarn, which I feel like a real jerk about. But, you know, she was very busy. I don't know if she would have really had time to do that. So I'll just do a little bit of a shout out to Meg. I did in episode 9 do a little House of Yarn local yarn store tour. So if you missed that, you can go back and check that out. But what I want to say about House of Yarn and Meg, the owner, is, I mean, House of Yarn's gotten a lot of word of mouth because of Amy of Stranded Dye Works, the Stranded podcast. She comes here for SSK and has been to House of Yarn and talked it up and done a yarn store tour. And I really do have to say it is every bit as fabulous as Amy talks it up to be, and I feel very, very lucky that House of Yarn is my local yarn store. It is, we do have another fabulous yarn store, which I will go down there and do a yarn tour. It is not as local to me, it's not that far away, but it's Bliss Yarns. I didn't make it down there for yarn store day because honestly by the time I left House of Yarn I was exhausted. But I think the thing that makes House of Yarn so fantastic is Meg. And that is because I feel like she just has her finger on the pulse of the yarn community. You know, all of the things, like I don't know, I haven't had in-depth conversations with her, but all of the things that are kind of in the store, it just speaks to everything that like podcasters are talking about and the Ravelry community is talking about, just the knitting, sort of the knitting, would it be the knitting zeitgeist? The, is that what it would be called? I'm not really sure what the word zeitgeist means completely. But, you know, just the, like, she has lots of yarn. She tries to get lots of yarns from indie dyers and local yarn dyers, which we're very lucky in Nashville to have a very prolific creative community. So we have lots of local creatives. And also the big, the other big names that everybody's talking about. So like, you know, obviously like Madeline Tosh and Koigu and Brooklyn Tweed and like all of those kinds of, but then she also has like Plymouth yarns and you know, some yarns in the more affordable range. And there's just such a huge selection, and she also has kits and bags and all of the cute stitch markers and all of the little tools, and they do classes, knit and crochet, and she has a big social media presence. She does a newsletter, she does Instagram, and all of it. So it's very accessible as well to the community. So I just, House of Yarn. If you're ever in Nashville, make sure you go there and check it out. So my camera battery has just gone red. I am still recording, thank goodness. I'm just gonna talk until the camera dies. So I do want to, so let's go ahead and jump into talking about the people that I interviewed, which, if you're watching, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much to Meg for allowing me to walk into your store completely unannounced and start interviewing your people, your guests there. And I'm so sorry if I created a commotion, and I'm so sorry for not even asking you or even talking to you about it. I am an idiot sometimes. And I would like to say a big thank you to the 3 women that I interviewed. That is Mary Jo of the Crafty Treehouse, Meg of Nutmeg Fibers, and Laura of Old Rusted Chair. Hi, I'm back. As predicted, my camera did shut down finally, and I've taken quite a long break while it charged back up, so I have no idea what I was doing, and I didn't watch back before I put my camera back on the tripod. So I think that I was about to start the local yarn store day interviews, and I just want to intro them a little bit. I'm going to do one at a time and then show you what I got from that shop, or from that vendor, I guess. So let's start with the first person that I interviewed, and that was Mary Jo of the Crafty Treehouse. I apologize in advance for the sound quality, the poor camera skills, and this first interview especially. I started the interview and then realized a couple minutes in that my camera wasn't actually recording. So we kind of hop in to the middle of this interview, because when I started it, we just kind of picked up where we had left off, because I am a ding-dong. So I apologize. So let me do a little bit more of an intro for Mary Jo. Mary Jo is super sweet. She lives in Bell Buckle, Tennessee, which, if you are ever going through Middle Tennessee, I haven't been there, but I've heard so many good things about Bell Buckle. It's a really cute little community. So go check it out. And Mary Jo has the Etsy shop, the Crafty Treehouse, and she does little burned wood stitch markers. And I will try to, I got a little bit of footage. I don't think I circled back around and finished sort of shooting her whole table, but I did get a little bit of footage, so I'll intro her with that little bit of footage, and then we'll just hop right into the middle of her interview. And she is talking, I think when we begin, she is talking about how she got her printer. And if you can't hear her very well, I'm very sorry. I do need to get an external mic. It isn't usually an issue with just me recording in this room, because this camera actually has a really decent on-camera microphone. And when I'm out shooting, you know, like in my garden or shooting my cats or whatever, I'm usually, you know, turning the sound off on that video anyway. So I've never even thought about an external mic before. So it is on my list now, you guys. I apologize. Next interviews that I do will definitely have better sound, but this time what I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that there was background music going on. So sometimes you can hear Katy Perry or whoever a little bit better than the vendors, and I deeply apologize for that. But just bear with me, because these are three just absolutely, like, all three of them are so different from each other. I mean, and they're doing different things, but they're all amazing people. So I really had a good time talking to Mary Jo. She is so sweet. And she honestly, like, she really helped get me through local yarn store day, because she was the first person I talked to when I walked in the door, and she was so warm and so willing to be interviewed. It really helped put me at ease, actually, even though she was a little bit nervous to talk on camera. And honestly, like, I am a serious introvert. I love people and I love talking to people, but it takes me a long time to sort of recover my energy after these sort of big outputs, like going and interviewing people. So yeah, she sort of, like, towards, like, as we went through the day, she'd come and talk to me a little bit. I mean, I was only there for, I don't even know how long I was there. I was in, like, a time warp. But sort of towards the end of my time there, she would kind of come and talk to me as I was there, and towards the end, I was just standing there talking to her, like, half falling asleep, and she kept keeping me, she was keeping me going, because she was so nice and very helpful. So let's jump in. Here's Mary Jo, and oh, like I said, she does the burned wood stitch markers, and she has all kinds of different things. She'll tell you about them, buttons and keychains, and she actually burns them with a printer, which I just find so interesting. So check her out, and then we'll talk about what I got from her shop. Monopolize you. Okay, now it's recording. Okay. The camera. So your dad bought you the printer?
Yeah, my dad actually worked at a pencil factory, and he had a friend that does machine work, and he did laser printing on the weekend. And he was selling his machine, and these machines, it's hard to find them used, and new, they're very expensive. And so he found this one at a great price, and then the guy that we bought it from is kind of like our mentor. Like, if I have a problem, I'll be like, oh, what do I do? But it's really cool. And then
and you just thought of making, well, you don't just make the stitch markers and the stuff, you make other things too, right?
Well, we actually have two companies. I mostly go over this company, but then we have Middle Tennessee Engravers. We do Christmas ornaments, we engrave onto the stainless steel cups.
Oh, cool.
Baseballs, rolling, anything that's wood or leather or painted metal we can do.
Oh, painted metal, so okay. That is really cool.
And so we have this one, and then we also have that one as well.
Okay, and both are on Etsy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
And then I'm on Instagram as Mary Jo the Knitter.
Mary Jo the Knitter.
Yeah, I tried to change it, and it wouldn't.
Oh.
But it's really fun to see what I can do. I'm trying to come up with mini looms kits. Trying to find some good wood. It's very hard to source wood, especially at a good price. We mostly do stuff in this birch, but I want to do sock blockers, which would be awesome.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, mitten blockers, I've heard that too, but I'm still trying to, I'm up the hill. I haven't gotten down the hill learning everything.
Yeah, that's so cool. So you design all of this on your computer, and I think that the part that I cut you off with the camera, you were saying that you cut these, it like cuts the circle out, the printer does, and it etches in the design, right?
It goes back and forth like a normal printer does. And how it works is it's actual laser that is engraving this on.
So it's like actually burning it into the wood.
Yeah, there's like wood. If you take these out and smell them, you might be able to smell some of those if you since they're open. But you can faintly smell it from
like the burn.
People like it because they like to think that it smells like their grandfather's workshop.
Yeah.
But it burns it, and the laser is actually a giant tube. It's probably about 8 feet long, and it sits in the back, and mirrors will take the laser and point it. And then there's this thing that goes back and forth with a mirror on it, and then the laser goes down into wood.
Wow.
So,
okay.
and I find images, some of them, I'm not great at drawing. I have a friend that is, that I'll be like, can you draw this for me? Or I'll just buy groups, and then you could also find free stuff online as well. It's fun to see what I can do. I'll wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I need to do a coffee set. Well, I need to do this set.
Yeah, I was looking at your coffee set here.
Yeah, I also have a tea set too.
They're so cute. You were saying you had a whole lot earlier and it's kind of dwindled down.
Yeah, I had it where it was like bunched up, and I was like, had so much. It was crazy, but we're also trying to do buttons as well. I don't have very many left.
I really like the buttons. They're so cute.
Yeah, I had some that were like a ring of wildflowers. I did those, and like when I print. When I'm like doing the trial print, sometimes it's like, it's alright. And then I open up, after I let the air out and all that, I open up the hood and I'm like, it's amazing!
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun. I've done a lot of custom orders for people. I think my favorite custom order that I can remember, someone was like, I have a knit group. I need stitch markers that says secret sewers. And this woman, like, I've done multiple. I've probably done like 100 of these markers over time. It's like, oh, there's my sewer lady.
A secret sewer.
Yeah,
it must be an inside joke or something.
That's what she told me. I was like, is it an inside joke? She's like, yeah. And she never explained it, but I was like, that's kind of funny.
Oh, like the difference between sewist and sewer, and how sewer looks like sewer.
I thought it was sewer.
Oh, what's the sewer?
Like,
you don't have to tell her secret. I don't want to out her secret.
I told somebody, my first custom order, it says secret sewers, and then a day later when I go to print, I'm like, wait, that's not sewer. I was like, what? I made sure. Are you trying to say sewer or sewer? She's like, yeah, sewer. Okay.
Very interesting.
But it's fun to see what I can come up with.
Nice. Very nice. You need a little notepad beside your bed so you wake up and
I
write it in the
shower.
Oh yeah. So you need some waterproof paper.
Yeah. If I'm knitting and I'm not watching whatever's on.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's me sitting in front of the computer for like 2 hours. No, I don't like that. Yeah. No, I don't like that.
Yeah. I'm a graphic designer also, and so I know that process where you're like, I'm gonna try this, and then you think it's gonna be great, and then you're like, oh yeah, that doesn't work in real life. So
and you're so excited about it, and you're like, this is not great.
Yeah, and then it's the happy accidents that are the best.
Exactly. That's what happened with our local yarn shop.
Oh yeah. It is cute. I was looking at it. I love the little heart ball of yarn.
Yeah, I tried to do stitch markers with just the ball of yarn, but it's too tiny and fragile. But some of it's just like the keychain. I did that just because I was tired of always losing or forgetting
the kitchner.
Stitch.
Yeah, I came here specifically to get the kitchner stitch.
Yeah, I made sure to stock up. People love them.
It'll be good to have right in front of me as I'm doing it.
It's very handy, right?
Yeah. I've had people a lot lately sending notes in orders saying, oh, I got this on Fiber Share and I love it and it's amazing.
Awesome.
I've been getting a lot of notes in orders lately.
Nice.
And it's melts my heart every time I get a note.
Right, it's nice to know what works too.
Yeah, I had one lady that I got the order and I was writing down her address. She's from Franklin. I live in Belleville. We're so close. And then she put a note in the order saying, like, I got this here. And she's like, I need all of them. I think she bought like 3 earlier. It was cool to, she's like, yay,
Yeah. Very nice. Well, I will. So tell us one more time your name and where you're from and your Etsy shop.
Okay. So my name is Marion. I live in Belleville, Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, and I make stitch markers for the Etsy, for the Crafty Treehouse, and I am on Instagram as Marion.
Awesome! Yay! Thank you for letting me talk to you. So I hope you enjoyed the interview, what you could hear of it. I hope that it wasn't too terrible. So I want to show you what I got from Mary Jo. I bought myself these progress keepers. I'm going to try to get them so you can see all of them. This is her garden set, I guess. It's got flowers, some tulips, and it looks like some irises, and then a bee and a watering can. Oh, let's see. Is that better? Can you see that? They are super cute. Super duper cute. I really loved this set, so I had to have this one. So now I have some progress keepers. I will try to keep my progress on all of my projects. And then I also got some things for you guys to include in the prize packs for the Wall of Shawls knit along. So I got this keychain. It's like a ball of yarn, and on the back is the Kitchener stitch shortcut. I'm not going to open it. You all know what that looks like, or if you don't, maybe you'll get this and then you'll never forget again. But I thought that this was super cute, the ball of yarn on there, and you can just, put that in your knitting bag or on your keychain so you always have it. And I also got a set of progress keepers and a set of stitch markers. These are all jumbled up. Hang on while I open these. So I also got these stitch markers, and these are like little balls of yarn. And I thought that I would divide this set up and put a stitch marker, like throw one of these in whatever, throw one of these in each prize pack. And then I also got some progress keepers. These are so cute. I think these are okay. You can see these in there. But they're little sheep and they are adorable. They are just adorable. Can you see? So So I thought I would use these 2 packs and divide up into prize packs for people. Sort of stretch them out that way. And those are all from the crafting, I think I've been saying the Crafty Treehouse, but it's the Crafting Treehouse. All right, our next interview is with Meg of Nutmeg Fibers, and this one is more of a complete interview, and I think that the audio is a little bit better. Meg does does exclusively natural dyeing, and she'll tell you all about it. She is super cool and super cute and super nice, and just super. So here you go. Here's Meg of Nutmeg Fibers.
And my yarn is I hand dye it with natural dyes, and it's I work with a mill in North Carolina, and they create the bases just for us, for us, and I have 4 bases, and it's all U.S. wool or U.S. alpaca blends.
Oh wow,
so
that's
domestic
amazing.
Fibers. And then, yeah, I use natural dyes, and I have a small dye studio at my house, like separate little building, and that's where I work from.
That's amazing. How long have you been dyeing?
A couple of years. Actually, I don't. I think it's maybe like 3 or 4 years now. I can't remember. I think maybe since 2014. So I guess about 4 years.
Okay.
And then I started working with this mill about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And we started to have all 4 of our bases 100% exclusive, like for us, about 9 months ago.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a process, to get each one like where I wanted it to be, and then
okay, like the content and
the way it was feeling and the weight, the ply, all that stuff.
Okay.
Like, let's next time try it like this, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And so now I'm just really loving all 4 of them, and now we're kind of rolling out with some patterns and stuff like that.
Nice. Were you always interested in the natural yarn dyeing, or?
Yes. When I first started to play with dyeing things, I was using like vegetables and cereal and stuff. I don't use that anymore. I use like flower dyes or insect extract, things like that. For a little while, I played with some chemical dyes, but I just realized that the colors I was more drawn to personally, and the process I enjoyed making more, was the natural dyes.
Yeah.
So I decided to just go 100% natural dyes.
Nice.
80% of my colorways were that already anyhow. So, because I just liked the way, I liked the process. I just like the process that natural dyes has a little bit. I understood it a little bit more, and I was connecting with it more. So I just went 100% natural.
Nice. I love it. It's in it. They all go together so nicely when they're all natural dyes.
Yeah. So they kind of all have a similar muted palette tone because of that, and they kind of all make sense together in a way.
Yeah, totally. I love it. I love them.
Yeah.
So pretty. Thank you so much for talking to me. Oh, and are you online?
Yes, my website is nutmegfibers.com, and my Instagram is nutmegfibers.
Okay.
I think that's everything.
Okay.
I think I have a Twitter. I don't know anymore.
Okay. I gave up on Twitter.
I think I just like automatically connect things to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't even remember.
Right. All right, cool. Thank you so much. Okay, and that was Meg of Nutmeg Fibers. Thank you so much, Meg, if you're seeing this, for letting me interview you. And I just watched a couple of the interviews back, and I realized that So I'm 5'1", and so that means like almost everybody is taller than me, and I realized like I was holding the camera here so that I could, you know, sort of look over and make sure that I was trying to keep people in frame, but that also means that I was shooting up everybody's nose. So I apologize. Let's just add that to my pile of apologies for this episode. Anyway, I want to show you what I got from Meg's store because I am in love and I can't wait to use it. So for myself, from Nutmeg Fibers, I got these two. And look at these, they're so pretty. This one, they're both her Cottage base, which is 180 yards of 100% US merino. And I think she did say in the interview that all of her yarn bases are sourced inside the US. It's all US yarn. And that is really cool. So I got this. I wanted to do a little bit of color work something. This is the En Pointe colorway, and this is Ice. And I just love these. I don't usually naturally gravitate towards neutrals, really. Historically, I go for brighter, like I'm drawn to very bright colors, but when I see people's knitting, I'm always drawn to things that have been knit out of more neutral colors, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to buy more neutral yarn sort of in this kind of palette, and I am just thrilled. I mean, this Ice colorway is gorgeous. I honestly, those lights are so bright in my face that I can't see how well this is picking up, but it is just lovely. It's like a gray blue, or like a blue gray more, because it's definitely a gray with some blue undertones, and it has a little bit of like light pink in it as well, and it is just, it makes my heart sing. It really does. I can't wait. And it's so squishy but sturdy. I'm very excited. And for you guys, I'm so excited about this. I got the same base, it's the Cottage base, and I got it in the Pebble colorway, which, look at that. I think she said that this is a newer colorway. Oh, look at that. It is just, oh man, I almost don't want to give it to you because I want it for myself. But this will be one of the Wall of Shawls prizes in June. So there we go. Super excited about that now. So go visit Meg's shop and check her out. Go visit her website, see what she's got going on over there. And look at her other bases, because her other bases are amazing also. I really, I had to squish everything. And I had a hard time deciding. So I'm definitely going to have to visit her again. Yay! So our final interviewee is Lauren from Old Rusted Chair. She is also a Nashville-based indie dyer. And if you remember, I used her shipwreck colorway and her bell-bottom colorway in my Stay Soft shawl that I just finished. And I loved working with her yarn. Her yarn is just so vibrant, and it really kept me interested. That bell-bottom colorway, I wish that I could use that in every single project that I do for the rest of my life. I just love that colorway, and I'm not usually a really blue-green kind of person, although I have a blue shirt on today. But I love the shipwreck colorway. It is more green, and I am really drawn to like a turquoise color, like all turquoise related colors. So on the bluer spectrum and the greener spectrum of any kind of turquoise aqua color. So I guess that is where shipwreck got me, but man, I just love her colorways. Every time I go into House of Yarn, lately, I don't want to say they're always there, but because Meg switches things up regularly, which is another reason why House of Yarn is so awesome. But when you first walk in the door, there are shelves to the right. And at least the past several times I've been there, Old Rusted Chair is on those shelves. And as soon as I walk in the door, I just stand there and look and see what she's got going on because I really, really do love her colorways. So let's hear it from Lauren. There we go. I'm just going to try to hold it and look at you.
Okay.
This is so pretty too, by the way.
Oh, yeah, this is the Invincible Summer shawl. It was knit by Nutmeg Fiber on Instagram. She's a fantastic sample knitter. And it uses 4 skeins of yarn. We've got Horizon, Wine Drunk, Burlesque, with a little bell-bottom contrast.
Bell-bottom, I love that one. That is gorgeous. So tell me, will you introduce yourself? Do you mind? Tell us who you are.
Oh, my name is Lauren. I am one of the newest Nashville residents. I've been here about a year now. I left my corporate job about a year and a half ago to explore this full time. And once I got to Nashville, I really dove in and realized that there's a space for local makers here, especially.
Yeah.
No more accounting.
That's amazing. So were you doing it on the side before and then you decided to
So I was doing
got
this
to a
on the
place?
side in Oakland when I still had my corporate job.
Oakland, California? Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Yeah. We do have a lot of California transplants here now.
Tech, I think, is moving here.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, we do have some tech moving here. Oh, this is amazing I love your colorways, and can you, I don't know, maybe just talk about some of your inspiration, maybe?
This is honestly the hardest question for me because I don't know where my inspiration comes from. Like, trying to sound modest, this just comes from my head. I don't follow a lot of dyers. I don't follow a lot of designers. I don't really want to see what a lot of people are doing because I want what comes from me to know that it comes from me. There's some colors where I'm listening to music and I think, this lyric right here, it sounds like something to me, but what does this look like? What does this lyric look like to me? And that's how I actually came up with the top color of this sweater.
Oh, I love this. And this is the So Faded, right?
This is my So Faded. The top is Dream World. I'm using Parade in the middle, and Howl is down at the bottom.
Awesome. It's beautiful in person, by the way.
Sometimes I'm inspired by, like I said, the music that I'm listening to. Sometimes I just think, what happens if I mix 3 of this and 7 of this? I just want to know what it looks like.
All right.
And then I go from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I really like contrasting colors. I think that shows a lot in here with the purples and the greens.
yeah. You definitely have a style, and so they all kind of like go together because they are all coming from you, which is awesome. So I just used your shipwreck and your bell bottom in a shawl, and I love both of those. And I love your colorways. Yes.
I don't know, we have our bell bottom over here.
They go so nice together. But I love the bell bottom with the more purpley colors.
Yes, I have to give credit to my sample knitter for helping me. I was between a couple colors for the contrasting, and she goes, "There's yellow. Got some yellow in here. Give me a bell bottom."
Nice. So did you you were a knitter before?
I was a knitter before. I've been knitting for over 10 years now, and I actually worked at a local yarn shop in Oakland for about a year. I was doing bookkeeping for her, and then everything else that I could possibly get my hands on. And I was also doing a little bit of tech editing here and there. I also test knit, or I was test knitting when I had the time to do it. So really being able to dive in and do the math and the Excel, like that gets my accounting brain going.
Okay.
And then I don't know, I thought one day, I'm terrible at painting, I'm terrible at drawing, I'm terrible at everything else art-wise. What if I tried this?
So you wanted that creative, you were looking for that creative outlet.
And it just happened to work out.
It worked out really well.
Honestly.
Yeah, it worked out really well. And you said a trapeze artist?
I'm a trapeze artist. I do aerial silks. I do trapeze. I do not perform. I'm not a performer, but I've been doing it for about 7 years.
That's so cool.
It's just a fun way to work out and not just be mindlessly running on a treadmill. It's just not a place that I want to be. And it's nice to be in the air, because when I get stuck here, I can just go climb on something, and I'm thinking about that, and it gets me out of my dye studio. And I'm back in my dye studio, I'm thinking, oh, well, I could be doing this in the air.
So, tell us where we can find you.
I am just Old Rusted Chair on all of the things. I just started Facebook.
Okay.
New to me. Instagram, Ravelry, and then oldrustedchair.com.
Okay, so oldrustedchair.com is where people can buy if they can't get to a store that has you? Okay.
Yes.
All right, awesome. And everybody should buy. Bye. Okay, cool, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, isn't she so cool? She is so cool. I felt like I needed to do like a little I'm not worthy because she is just like, seriously, a trapeze artist. I mean, give me a break. She's so cool. So let me show you what I got. I got more Old Rusted Chair. I'm gonna show you what I got for myself. Now, there's not really a story behind this, but there's a reason that I got this. I'm gonna show it to you. The only thing that she had, or I think the only base that she has at House of Yarn right now is her 80/20 sock yarn, and I got it in the Horizon. I think that's what that says. Yeah, Horizon colorway. And oh my goodness, you guys, look at this. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Where it was in the shop, I think it was just the way the light was hitting it. It looked pink, but it is gray, and I think that it's coming out pretty true on screen right now. It is a light gray. It has these beautiful sort of indigo, purple, and sort of orangey red, pops yellow. It is just gorgeous. It is so pretty. And the reason I got this yarn is, okay, so by now you probably all know about the Casa Pinka pattern that she made. I think it was Local Yarn Shawl is the name of the pattern, and I got the pattern because I went to the yarn store day and I bought yarn, and Local Yarn Shawl, that is what it's called. It's Casa Pinka. I think that now it is for sale on her Ravelry page, so go check it out. It is a really pretty pattern. So when I was seeing it before yarn store day, I think I mostly saw the 2-color version, and you know, sometimes you can get a really good idea of how things look from a picture, but I didn't feel like I was getting a really great idea of how it looked before, but they had a sample knit out of this colorway, just a 1-color shawl, and it was so pretty. It was so pretty. So I just had to get the exact yarn. I'm just being a copycat because I'm just being a copycat because it was so pretty. Just gorgeous, just so pretty, so pretty. And what I love, okay, so what I love about the speckled yarns, and I know that like everybody's gonna be over speckled yarns any second now because I know it's a thing that's been going on, that I am again tardy to the party. But it took me a while to kind of not appreciate them because they are gorgeous and that's immediately evident, but to actually buy some and start using them. But what I love about speckled yarns is that you can do, like I was talking about earlier, the more neutral colors, you know, but you can have your pops of wild color in there. So like I can have my pop of orange or my pop of red or my pop of purple or pink or whatever, and still have a very neutral overall effect. So I am in love. I cannot wait to start knitting the Casa Pinka shawl. Go check it out. And I want to show you what I got for you guys. So I know that I showed you last week that I got these little mini skein sets. And I'm just in love with her mini skein sets, okay? So I had gotten these two. And I think that I've decided to keep the lo-fi for myself. I was trying to decide which I was going to keep for myself, and I absolutely adore both of these, but I really think that I'll use this. And actually, see, now this looks like Shipwreck to me, and this actually looks like it looks like this. If it's not that, it's very similar. So yeah, I guess that this is just colors that I already absolutely adore, so that's why I'm keeping it. But I might have to go back and get this because this kind of rocks my world too. This is the Daybreak. So somebody will win this in the June drawing for the Wall of Shawls knit along. And then I asked Lauren which was her favorite one, and she said that it was the Rainbow Fade. So there you go. I got somebody a Rainbow Fade mini skein set. So somebody else will win that. So now we have, I think that brings us up to 3 prizes for the Wall of Shawls June drawing. And I haven't decided where I'm going to cut that off, if I'm going to do like 4 or how I'm going to do that, because this is my first rodeo, y'all. Okay, so that's that. Anyway, you want to see that again? I feel like I just like did that and didn't show it to you. But I mean, look at this. You got, let's see, what's the rainbow? Roy G. Biv. See, you got your sort of red, pink. You got your orangey, kinda wild colorway. Oh, here's yellow over here. Yellow. There's yellow. That looks like, kind of looks like an iris. Like some iris. And there's blue. Lovely. I love that. And violet. Yeah, man. And she has a sample sock, which I think I show in my last podcast, episode 9. I show the sample socks sitting there with these. So go check that out. If you want to see what that might look like, you could do some socks. Like, I think she did some not Rose City rollers, but whatever, How I Roll or something like that. So that's everybody. And even though I left feeling like a little bit of a jerk because I'm terrible at interviewing, and I felt like I just kind of like walked in, and I mean, all social situations, it doesn't matter if I have known the person for 20 years. I feel like in every time I'm in a social situation, there's always a point at which I am uncomfortable with myself, and then I always leave and have second thoughts about every single thing I said, which is just a bunch of navel gazing. It's obnoxious, and I need to grow out of it, but but there it is. So I had such a good time though, even though I left feeling like an idiot. But I'm so grateful, so grateful that everybody was so participatory and had, yeah, just a really lovely time. I will definitely be saving up my cash for local yarn store day next year. So mark your calendars. There was one more vendor there that I didn't get to talk to. She was a lady who works at House of Yarn, and she makes fabulous project bags. And if you watch the interview with Meg of Nutmeg Fibers, you can see them hanging in the background, the little box bags. They are adorable, and she wasn't like standing by them, so I forgot that she was a vendor there until after I left, and so I apologize for that. But I think that it's Black Cat Bags, and I will find her information and put it in the down bar below, so make sure to go and check her out. So yeah, because her bags are nice and roomy and super cute. I really love the way she pairs the outer and inner fabrics, and I did not buy one of her bags because I honestly just ran out of steam and kind of ran out of money. Okay, that is our show for the day. Thank you so much for coming and spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. I know that there are so many podcasters on YouTube, so many amazing podcasters on YouTube, actually. A lot of other people you could be spending time with, and so I really appreciate you spending some of your time with me. I would also love to hear from you down in the comments section or over in our Ravelry group. So go and say hi. Again, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Flax Golden Knits, and our group is the Flax Golden Knits podcast group. All of the information about the vendors that I interviewed and anything else that I talked about or anything linkable that they talked about, it's down in the down bar. So check them all out and be knitting those shawls, you guys, and go over and talk about it in the chatter thread in the on the Ravelry group, because I want to hear. I want to see what you guys are up to. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye!